Hey, my good people, I am back, okay? I am back with another video. I'm going to try to make it quick. I always say I'm going to try to make it quick, and I never make it quick, but I'm going to try to make it quick. All right, so what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about calories, okay? Because whenever something is popping up in the social media world, whenever the gurus start talking about one thing or another, I get the questions, okay? And I just want to cover this topic, right? Because it's very important. People misunderstand calories, and that's because they think about calories from a very mainstream perspective. Whereas I've been saying for quite some time that the way we think of calories is very limited. All right. The way I've expressed calories, all right, is to most people is that calories are not just a simple unit of energy in terms of calories in versus calories out. All right, people tend to think of just like calories in this kind of like very linear fashion. And what I've been saying for quite some time is calories don't really work like that. Calories carry a fee. When you eat a calorie, it carries a fee. And what am I talking about when I say it carries a fee? Well, your calories don't come freely. When you ingest calories, your body has to process it. And there's 3 stages to the processing, okay? There's digestion, there's absorption, and then there's assimilation, okay? And the heaviest fee out of all those 3 is the digestion, okay? I'm not going to touch on the absorption and assimilation because most people can't even make it past the digestion. They wreck themselves in the digestion. They incur debt in the digestion. So I'm going to stay stuck on that for the purposes of this video, okay? So you have 2 dichotomies here, and both are right. Where on one hand, if you studies show that a low calorie diet, right, tends to have a longer lifespan versus a higher calorie diet. But then on the other hand, you have people that are screaming out against eating too little calories or low calories. No, it's not about eating low calories. You need to increase the calories, especially as you age, because you're putting yourself into metabolic dysfunction. Both camps are right. And the reason both camps are right is because they're not understanding, or they're not integrating the concept that the calories aren't free, and the calories need to come in with certain components, okay? So the reason I'm saying calories aren't free is because of the way we consume our calories in this society, via cooked foods. Number one, everybody's cooking their foods, okay? They're not really eating fresh foods. But the way we consume, I just saw a baby foot out of, the way we consume our calories in this society comes with a very heavy burden. Because what we're doing is we're consuming calories where we're cooking the foods, okay? We're driving out the water, and they don't come with fiber. If you are eating your calories in this way, right? Heavy meat, heavy cooked foods, heavy grains, okay? If you're eating your calories in this way, you're incurring a serious debt when it comes to digestion, because now your body, you need enzymes. You need the enzymes to break the foods down, okay? Because you're eating foods that you're not really designed to eat too much. All right, so you're eating foods and in a way that you're not really designed to eat them. Okay, what am I saying? What I'm saying is, if you're eating those types of foods that I just described, the cooked meat products, the processed products, you are pulling resources from your body just to digest them. Just to digest these foods, you are pulling water, you're pulling enzymes, okay? And you're not pulling fiber, so you're pulling more water to accommodate the fact that there's no fiber in the foods. This carries a fee, because where is your body getting this stuff from? You understand? The enzymes alone incur a huge fee. But this is the fee that I'm talking about. This is why I'm saying processing foods incur a fee. It's not free. That's why it's important to get certain things with the foods that you're eating if you so choose to eat foods, right? So what are the things I'm saying that need to come with the food? Well, basics. I'm not even going to go into the antioxidants and the phytochemicals and all those things, but very basics. You need water, fiber, and enzymes. These are very important in order to pay the processing fee, right? because you don't want to have to pull water and you don't want to have to pull enzymes. Okay? And the fiber feeds certain microbiome that generate, upon breaking down of those fibers, metabolites. I butcher the English language, but they generate certain metabolites that the gut lining, right, the endothelial cells need in order to maintain health. So if you are eating, that's why the camp that says if you're eating your calories too low, they're right when they say you're going to throw yourself into metabolic syndromes, because what people try to do is they hear, oh, lower calories means prolonged life, and instead of adjusting the foods that they eat, they instead try to maintain the same diet but eat less of it. And I'm saying, no, in the first place you're in debt, right? Because you're eating calories that are carrying a high debt load, but then you try to reduce those calories. So you reduce those calories, but you're still maintaining the debt. No, you're going to put yourself into metabolic syndrome. You don't reduce the amount that you eat. What you do is you adjust the types of foods. And what you have to do is you have to eat foods that include water, fiber, and enzymes, all of which carry no calories. Those are 0 calories, because calories are only counted, or calories only come from protein, fats, and carbs. And if you are eating your food fresh, if you're eating fresh fruits and vegetables, if you're eating fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, which are 90%, fruits and vegetables are 90% or more in water content, okay? 90% or more in water content. Then you got the fibers, you've got the soluble fibers, you got the insoluble fibers, you've got the phytonutrients that you need, and most importantly, you have the enzymes. I shouldn't say most importantly, because the water content is very important, but we'll talk about, people underestimate the importance of water and the source of water. They really don't get it, okay? But if you're eating those foods, you can eat much more of it and still maintain low caloric density and still be in optimal range for the aging process. It is not possible to do this on the other side of the gravy train, because on the other side of the gravy train, you're operating in debt. You're already operating in debt, okay? Because you're not coming with these 3 components: water, fiber, enzymes. Okay, that side of the gravy train doesn't have the fee associated with the foods to pay the processing fee. So you are in debt already on this side, and then you go ahead and you try to reduce the amounts in order to reduce the calories, and you fall into all kinds of situations, okay? Yeah, you might lose some weight in the beginning, but you're not satisfying certain requirements in terms of longevity. Okay, and you're not going to be able to be able to instigate certain cellular responses that you need to, in terms of autophagy and those things. You're not going to be able to instigate those things when you're on that side of the fence. Okay, I'm hoping that I'm expressing this in a way that people understand, because I say things very like direct and forceful and forward, and people misinterpret what I'm saying, and they especially misinterpret what I'm saying when they have a certain idea of how things are designed to work. But it is true that calories do matter, and it does matter to not overeat the calories. It really does matter to eat the calories that are needed that you need for your metabolic activities, okay? For your age, for your sex, for what you're doing throughout the day. Are you sitting? Are you standing a lot? Are you walking a lot? Are you running? Are you playing with kids? Do you exercise? Are you an athlete? So you have to figure out your metabolic needs, right? But this idea of slowing down your metabolism or speeding up your metabolism, both of those paradigms, in my view, is nonsense, because you need your body needs to find homeostasis, right? Or your body needs to strive towards homeostasis. It will never actually find it, because that just means death, okay? There's always movement and fluctuation. And the movement and fluctuation is a desire to find a homeostasis, but not actually getting it just close enough. Your body is always trying to maintain a certain pH, but it gets just right there, and then something happens, and then, you see what I'm saying? So when it comes to the calories, yes, it does matter. You can't go too little and you can't go too high, because either one of those you're gonna have metabolic issues. But the way you can carry out, I was eating greens and it's all in my teeth. Y'all could have told me. Anyhow, the way you're going to do this is to lower your processing fee. Digestion is it's a high price, my friend. It really is, and it's a huge part of the aging process. It's really dialing in the calories, understanding where to get your calories from, and figuring out how to level off your metabolism. It's not about making it too high or getting it to speed up, and it's not about slowing it down. There's a nice centered way to do it. And on one side of the train, you get to pay the fee, and on the other side of the train, you're gonna be in debt. So I hope that helps somebody. I gotta go. I'm getting text messages. Bye. Love you guys.